Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget, show me some love, give me a sub, give me a like, that's equal to a hug. And remember, leave a comment, good or bad, all are welcome. So this particular video is going to be another paranormal video. Like I said, as I remember these stories, how I didn't remember this one, I don't know. But as I remember, I will definitely be sharing these stories with you. This, again, is a paranormal story about a haunted orange grove. So if you really want to know what happened to me at the orange grove, keep on watching. Okay, long story short, basically this story takes place with my best friend, and you'll get to know all about her if you go back to my very first video. It's another paranormal video, which a lot of people have a lot to say about. So please check that out. I'll leave them listed in the description box below. I'm going to get right into the story. So long story short, my best friend was always getting into some kind of mischief, and this day was no different. Basically, at the house that day it was her and I, and for some reason Melissa's truck, which was our mutual friend, we were in her wedding, was in our driveway. And basically she wanted Melissa to go with her to get a few things at a friend's house, is how she explained it to me when she came to ask me if I would go with her. For some reason Melissa couldn't go, so I, as a friend, said, hey, sure, no problem, let's go. I blindly trusted her, and off we went to this friend's house to get her stuff, right? Well, it wasn't a friend's house we were going to. Basically, this was an abandoned property on an orange grove that her and Melissa had found, and they wanted to go pick up the things that they had previously seen there. Okay, so as a friend, even after I found out exactly why we were going to this abandoned orange grove, I went with her because that's what friends do. We were on the road for about 30 minutes, and in Florida, a lot of places have the double-laned roads, and a lot of things have changed, but that particular day, we took a road I had never seen before. It was, two-laned road. Either side was nothing but land and houses set way, way back. So they were big properties with pretty big houses on them, and in the middle of this particular strip of land was the orange grove. So we ended up turning off onto a dirt road. It was a dirt road that went way, way back. Of course, as you veer off onto the dirt road, you see the orange grove. The trees were on either side, and the moonlight was pretty bright that night, so you were actually able to see not that far, but the headlights kind of lit up the way, and you could see a few feet into the orange grove. And that road was so long that we lost view of where we entered. That's how far in the property went. So, she was smart. When we got close to the house, she kind of turned the car around just in case. It was Melissa's car. It was her friend's car. It was our friend's car. And the ignition, the key, there was a trick to getting the key out of the ignition, and that will be important later. But we basically decided to leave the keys in just in case something happened and we had to just exit quickly. Now, I was a little more excited than anything else. Obviously, it was like kind of an adventure. I'd never been to an abandoned property, and I was okay with it. I mean, after all, I did go with her. So when I got out of the car, I started to feel like a tightness in my chest, and I just chalked it up to, well, this is an abandoned property that we're not supposed to be on. I just chalked it up to excitement. But it was, I guess, my anxiety telling me, this is not a good idea. But we continued. We went to the side of the house. I went to the front, but she was like, no, that's locked. I guess they had a way in on the side of the house that they knew was open. So when we got to the side of the house, right next to the door on the ground floor, because it was a 3-story house, the house was massive, you looked up and there was a staircase that went all the way up to what I was assuming was the 3rd floor. And I remember flashing my light up there and seeing a door. So I was like, all right, well, there's doors unlocked here. Might as well go through this door and start from the bottom. And we looked around the first floor. There wasn't a whole lot on the first floor. What astonished me was there was a kitchen. Even though they got smaller as you went up, there was a kitchen on the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor. This house was huge, and there were 3 or 4 rooms on each floor. So we went through the 1st floor, and everything was okay. I still had the tightness in my chest, and I always felt like somebody was watching me, but it's okay, everything was good. And on the 1st floor there wasn't much there, so we quickly went to the 2nd floor. Again, same thing, wasn't a whole lot except maybe some random pieces of furniture and things like that. Then we went to the third. As we were going upstairs to the third, there was a huge ruckus on the first floor, and I freaked out, and I stopped her. I said, we need to go. She's like, no. She calmed me down. She said, it's okay. We heard stuff like that before. It's the house settling. I've been in many houses. It doesn't sound like the house is settling, but I trusted her. She was able to calm me down. Like I said, the moonlight was really coming in, so you could see quite a bit of the house. It was still really dark, but bright at the same time. Anyway, we finished going up the staircase, and we were on the third landing, and that's where most of the stuff was. There were 3 or 4 rooms again, and there was nothing but boxes, well, not nothing but boxes, but a lot of boxes mixed in with furniture. I saw a big mirror with a gold edging around it, and I knew that's what she was here for. Hence the truck, hence Melissa's truck. I put it together right then that the truck was, that's why she called her, because she had a truck and she could put all this crap in the back of her truck. So I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, it's an abandoned property. Again, putting my 100% trust in her. But anyway, we're looking through the boxes, and I can't say that I wasn't excited. I was kind of excited to be there. I'd never been in an abandoned property before, looking through stuff. I got to one of the boxes, and I started looking in, and I thought it was unusual because all the boxes after were the same. There were pictures, there were cutouts of torn pictures out of magazines or full magazines of nothing but women. And what was really odd was that one box had heads, one box had torsos, one box had legs and arms, and it just went on and on and on, boxes and boxes and boxes of the same stuff. And I'm like, what? I was really intrigued, and I was really looking and digging, and that's all you saw, boxes and boxes and boxes of nothing but women. And then when I looked up, there was like a board. It was like a small pegboard, and on the pegboard were breasts, just all these breasts that had been like glued to the pegboard. And I'm just like, what in the hell is going on? And right then, right then, as I looked to the board, I remember hearing a voice behind me, and I thought it was Kelly, so it didn't scare me right off the bat, and I didn't, I was like, okay, and it said, what are you doing? And I thought it was Kelly because the voice was a little higher pitched, and it could have been a man, could have been a woman when I think about it, but I thought it was her. So I kind of turned around with the flashlight, and I was like, well, what do you think I'm doing? And I kind of stopped mid-sentence because she was in the room with me. And right then, like, this nausea, this horrible feeling from the pit of my stomach just rose up into my throat. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm done. I don't care. We're getting the hell out. I'm gonna leave without her if I have to. So I went out into the hallway, and I was like, Kelly. I was looking for her. Couldn't find her. I was in and out of the other 2 rooms, and then when I got to the last room, she was in there. And I was like, Kelly, why didn't you answer me? What's wrong with you? Let's go. And I grabbed her by the arm, and like I turned her around, and I looked at her. I flashed the light on her face, and she was a little out of it, and she was like, what? And I was like, did you hear me? I heard a voice. I just went off on her because she left me, and then I heard the voice, what are you doing? And it wasn't her, and I was just freaked out, and I was just trying to tell her, we need to go. So she wasn't responding to me right away. She was like lethargic, and she had these pictures in her hand. I'm like, what do you have in your hand? So I grabbed what she had in her hands, and there were pictures of, it looked like a guy and his wife and maybe some kids, at the beach, just all these different pictures from way back, like 50s, 60s. I don't know what year it was, but they were really old. And she had them in her hands. And I was like, Kelly, I was like, listen to me. What? And she was like, no, look, Julie, look. And I was like, yeah, I see the pictures. I don't care about the pictures. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said? Did you hear that I heard a voice? There might be somebody in the house. You don't know. We don't know. We need to leave. And she was like, no. And she wanted to tell me, what she was telling me was that when she found these pictures, I guess she was bending down because they were in one of the boxes, something touched her. She felt like a finger, her shirt went up, and she felt a finger on her back go up and down. And I'm like, okay, you were touched. I heard it to somebody's voice, or whoever, it might have been somebody in the house. We need to get the hell out. So then she kind of came back to her senses. She was like, okay. She dropped the pictures, and then we started to the staircase to go downstairs and come out the way we came in. But I remembered, wait a minute, there was a door that's probably up here because it was all the way up at the top. Let's just go out that door because the car's like pretty much 2 feet away from the staircase. So we were like, okay. So she was already halfway down, and she grabs my arm as I turn around to go up the stairs. She grabs my arm and she pulls me down, and I'm like, what is it? I thought something really bad had happened, or she saw something, or I don't know. So she was like, she was holding her hair, and I was like, what happened? And she was like, something pulled my hair. Oh my God, I about lost it. I just snatched her up the rest of the way, and I pushed her in front of me, and then we were frantically looking for the door, just looking. And of course, things were escalating. We started hearing bangs and booms on the first floor and the second floor, and they might as well have been on the third floor, because we were hysterical trying to find the door to get the hell out. And if things didn't get bad enough, I was passing the staircase, and of course, what do I hear? Footsteps. It sounded like big ass boots coming up the steps full speed, and I was just like, oh my God, Kelly, we have to go right now. She found the door. I'm really not sure how she found it, but she found it. We both ran towards the door. We threw it open, and we ran down the stairs so fast. I think I might have taken the stairs by 2s and 3s. Jumped into the car. No keys in the car. She went to grab the ignition, and there was nothing. And she was like, what did you do with the keys? What did you do with the keys? She's screaming at me like what I did with the keys. And I was like, are you kidding me? You left the keys in the car. I mean, I was just like, look for the keys. And it was a truck, so it was just one, you know, that small cab. And we were just looking everywhere. She said, stop looking, just be on the lookout, make sure nobody's coming. And as I flashed the light out just towards the doors to see if anybody was coming. Nobody was coming. But I did hear a door slam. I heard a door slam, and it could have been the door downstairs, it could have been the door upstairs, I don't know, but I heard a door slam, and the same boots that I heard coming up the stairs sounded like they were on the dirt now, coming towards the car. I just started screaming at her. I said, Kelly, somebody's coming. And she's like, nobody's coming. And we were both just yelling back and forth at each other. I was saying, yes, somebody's coming. She was like, no. We were still trying to find the keys. They weren't on the floor. They weren't in the glove box. They weren't anywhere. And there weren't too many places to look because the truck was really small. So finally she finds the keys, and where are they? They are stuck in, they had been stuffed in the middle of the cushion. It was like, you know, the seat, it had been stuffed in there on the driver's side. And I was just like, oh my God, whatever. So she put the keys in the ignition, she started up the car, and we hauled ass. I had never been so scared in my life. And we were getting a few feet away from the house, and I was just telling her, don't look back. And of course, what did I do? I looked back, looked in the rearview mirror. And again, I don't know if I saw it. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I was so petrified. We were both so freaked out. Maybe we were feeding off of each other's fear. But I could have sworn I saw like the silhouette of a person who'd stopped right when we were pulling, you know, we were driving. It looked like it stopped at the edge of the tree line and then went into quickly. When I saw it, it dodged into the trees. So I was like, oh my God. And we just hauled ass, and we never went back. And apparently she did go back, because in the next few weeks I saw the mirror that was there, and I saw a chair, and I saw a couple of other things that I saw in that house, at our house. I'm surprised that half the hauntings or half the things that happened to us in that house is probably because of those things that she brought to her house, because it was her house. I was only living with her. But anyway, yeah, that's my story of the haunted freaking Orange Grove, that I will never ever go back to it. I'm glad that I don't live in Florida and I never have to pass that Orange Grove again. It makes me wonder if somebody actually lives on the property now. But anyway, that's my video. Hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you subscribe, show me some love. I hope you give me a like, which is equal to a big hug. And I hope you have a comment, good or bad, all are welcome. And until my next video, because you never know what I'm gonna post. Bye.